Hey everyone. So you're probably wondering what exactly goes into a video editing session to make an Undertale the Musical video. So I figured I'd show you what goes into said videos by showing you what's going on behind the scenes while I make this 4-hour monstrosity that is the full script video. So, in Adobe Premiere, which is what I work with, you'll want to start with the raw footage, which was provided to me by Darby, and the audio mix, which is done by Steel. So I've already cut apart and timed the raw footage so that things happen on screen when I want them to, and you're not just going to sit there watching awkward walking, talking to Froggets, fighting Froggets, etc. And then I replaced the audio of the raw footage with Steel's mix so that you're not hearing all sorts of blips and bloops that are going on at the same time as the very, very nice quality that we want you to hear. But if we just do the raw footage and the audio, it's going to look something like this. I say something like this because the preview is going to be laggy, because Adobe Premiere doesn't want to cooperate with me in this recording session.
I suppose that worked. Still, there was an important reason for this exercise, to test your independence. If ever I need to attend to business and you must be left alone, I would hate for you to not know how to carry yourself. I have an idea. I'll give you this cell phone. If you have a need for anything, and just in case we get separated, just call. Not that you're going to leave. It's just in case. Oh dear, this trip is taking longer than I thought it would. It was irresponsible to try and surprise you like this. Well, I suppose I cannot hide it any longer. Come, my child. Welcome home.
So, even with Laggy McGee not working with the preview, you can kind of see a couple of issues. For one thing, there are no footstep noises. That is intentional. We took out the footsteps in the mix, and we made separate footstep sounds so they can be more easily timed to a video. And for another, what Toriel was saying didn't actually match what was showing in the video. So in order to make that work, I had to make custom text boxes, and to make them look like they actually belong in the game, manually crop all of them so that one letter at a time shows up per line. So in this case, it would look something like this if the damn thing cooperates. So that is one line that was cropped out one letter at a time, or one character at a time in the case of the ellipses here. So to make it do a second line, I copied this, the custom text box, which also copies over the cropping settings, and then I pasted it into the video layer above so that it'll also start cropping letters and stuff, manually adjusting as I went to make it so that it didn't crop in the middle of an H or a T or whatever. So the downside to doing this is it'll also crop out the full fake text box. This is okay because the full fake text box doesn't have the exact dimensions of an Undertale game text box. So what I did there is I cropped out from another scene in the raw footage a text box from the actual game where Toriel's saying whatever. Then I put up a mask to block out whatever she was saying. Then, in the case of this text box in particular, I changed the expression so that Toriel's giving you the weird side-eye rather than general happy Toriel face. So altogether, it looks something like this. I had to hold down the right arrow key, which is why you might have heard the stuttering audio rather than the smooth audio. It's the only way I can be sure it's actually working frame by frame. So another thing you might have seen is, or another thing you might have heard, rather, is that when Toriel's handing over the cell phone, she doesn't actually move. So it sounds like she's just throwing the cell phone at the child. While this is hilarious, it's also pretty out of character. So in order to make that work, I put up a mask so you can't actually see Toriel. It's a mask from later in the footage where Toriel's already left the room, but Frisk still hasn't moved. So to make Toriel move, I took sprites from the game, and I moved them along a path so it actually looks like Toriel's walking over towards Frisk to give them the cell phone.
If you haven't...
It looks all nasty and pixelated right now. That's because it hasn't fully rendered. In the final video, it's going to look much better, and hopefully it's going to be completely seamless. Hopefully being the key word here. So, in order to make it actually sound like Toriel's walking, I put in some footsteps as well, so she actually sounds like she's moving rather than just floating along and kicking her legs out.
I'll give you the cell phone.
Actually, you know what? It might be more helpful if I took out the main audio. There you go. And the same thing happens for when Frisk is walking back and forth on the path right outside Toriel's house. I animated Toriel there so that she's walking alongside Frisk. And then I put footsteps depending on what type of terrain they were walking on, so that they actually sound like they're in the moment. Oh, and for some songs, like Home and Heartache with a long enough intro, you can put them over the dialogue so that it'll sound, in the end, like this.
Well, I suppose I cannot hide it any longer. Come, my child. Welcome home.
So, if it will cooperate, the full scene is going to look and sound something like this. Let's hope it doesn't lag.
I suppose that worked. Still, there was an important reason for this exercise, to test your independence. If ever I need to attend to business and you must be left alone, I would hate for you to not know how to carry yourself. I have an idea. I'll give you this cell phone. If you have a need for anything, and just in case we get separated, just call. Not that you're going to leave, it's just in case. Oh dear, this trip is taking longer than I thought it would. It was irresponsible to try and surprise you like this. Well, I suppose I cannot hide it any longer. Come, my child. Welcome home.
And then you know how home goes. So anyway, that is a simple and hopefully not too confusing example of what I do to make Undertale the Musical videos. It's less of a how-to and more of a what I do, so if you came into this video expecting a tutorial, that is tough luck for you, I guess. Anyway, you probably want the actual musical video rather than a behind-the-scenes video, and rest assured I am working as hard and as fast as I can to get it out to you. It's just that this particular scene took about 2 hours to get right, and let me put it this way. Something that's delayed and eventually good is going to be great. A bad video game is bad forever. Thank you to Shigeru Miyamoto, who I paraphrased incredibly badly. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for today, so I will catch you later. Internet man, away!